Listen, let's just universally agree and be friends about the fact that there is nothing like a homemade chocolate chip cookie. But if your go-to recipe needs a little revamp, my next guest has a few tweaks to getting a bakery-worthy cookie in your very own kitchen. Our friend Brooke Homec has mastered the chocolate chip cookie. You've made, what, hundreds of batches in your life?
Thousands.
Thousands of batches. This is your all-star recipe that you say nails it.
Yes, I think so. I feel like everybody has a chocolate chip cookie recipe that they love. There's a few things about my recipe that are different than your average. And then also just wanted to talk about some tips for perfecting cookies in general.
I mean, I think, what, Julia Child said there are 7 sauces we should all know by heart or something. You should have a chocolate chip recipe. I'm saying this to myself because I don't. I do after today.
I know,
but
right?
You should have a recipe, right? You can make, you can love, and you can feel like you've mastered. And yes. I do appreciate you're kind of like taking us through a counseling session, a chocolate chip cookie counseling session, in the sense that some of your tips could apply to other recipes as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like I want you to feel successful in all your cookie baking.
So describe it for me, Brooke. A good chocolate chip cookie does what in my mouth?
Okay, so I love a crispy edge. Okay. It's got to have a crispy edge and a chewy center.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
So.
All right, the first trick or the first step you say is to actually read the instructions, like know your recipe.
Yes, because depending on the recipe, you might want cold butter, you might want room temperature butter, you might want browned butter. You might need your dough to chill for 24 hours. There's all these variations, and so you can't just like start the recipe and think you know exactly, oh, I can have this done in 30 minutes, because not all recipes are the same when it comes to that.
There's a science to that.
Yes.
So just trust the words on the page.
Yes.
Okay, and then as we go through the steps, you've got some other tips for us too.
I do. So the first tip I wanted to share was butter. A lot of times when you see room temperature butter, you think like, not warm, but kind of warm. When you want your butter to be room temperature, you want to be able to push into it and make a slight indentation, but you do not want to be able to push through the butter.
So this is preparation because I can't pull something cold out of the fridge and warm it up in the microwave and have it be the right consistency.
If you can, you might just need to do it for like 5 seconds.
5 seconds off.
I think too often people soften their butter too much, and then your cookies are gonna spread too much once you actually bake them.
All right, what else?
So then when we add our butters and our sugars, one thing in my recipe that I love is I add turbinado sugar, which is like a thick, coarse sugar, so it just adds a little more texture to your cookie dough.
Yes.
So then you're gonna cream it, and that is the long part. So creaming is like a 4-minute process.
4 minutes?
Yes, you want your butter and sugars, first they'll mix, they'll become like one big clump, and then they'll kind of disperse back out again where it gets light and airy.
So let it go, let it take you through those transitional steps.
100%.
Okay.
So this is where you're gonna get the light, chewy cookie.
Okay, dry ingredients come next.
Yes, well first then we'll do eggs, vanilla.
Yes.
Those will be like a little more mixing, and then we add our dry ingredients.
Now you really like to weigh your ingredients.
I think this is like one of the top important things.
I'm feeling importance in her hand motions.
I know, right?
There was a finger tap.
I really talk with my
emphasize it. I love it. I do too. I love it. We're together on that.
I really believe in good cookies.
Yes.
Okay, so you're just gonna put your scale. You can throw your flour right on the scale, zero it out, and then you just scoop out, and it'll tell you exactly how much.
I feel like this is one step that eventually all women who love to bake gravitate. Like, I don't know why I'm resisting, because I think in the end we all kind of end up saying, yeah, they're right, you gotta weigh your ingredients.
And you get less dirty dishes. You don't need to you don't have different measuring cups out.
Yeah.
And then your amount of flour is the same as my amount of flour.
Same.
Which is important.
Yes, okay.
Then, so when we mix our flours in, we're gonna do it lightly. We're gonna leave a little bit of flour around the edge of the bowl. Okay. And we're gonna add in, I believe in chopped chocolate.
I
love chocolate chips. I think that's important. I like to mix my chocolates. So we go semi-sweet and
you're
milk.
Blending.
Yes.
Okay.
So we blend textures and flavors.
How do you like to shape your cookies?
Okay, so then we're gonna scoop.
That's good chocolate, by the way.
I think it's important that when we're scooping, we pat it in there, and then we roll around it.
Oh, okay.
So that's gonna help with getting a perfect circle.
Yes.
And then we're gonna put 6 on a thing. Then when they come out, there might be a little spot where this part kind of went out a little more. So we're gonna do the same thing. Some people like to use like a big cookie cutter. I don't like to do that. I just like to run a spatula around the outside.
Okay.
We're gonna sprinkle with salt.
Always. That, to me, that finishing touch makes a big difference.
The best.
How are you storing your cookies?
Okay.
As I snack on your great chocolate.
This is where, please do. I think your freezer needs to be your best friend. So you make a whole batch, you need to freeze them within like a couple hours. Whatever you don't eat, do not leave them out. Room temperature, they're gonna get so dry.
Even if I want one the next day, say for breakfast?
If you want one the next day for breakfast, pull it out in the morning.
Okay.
Because they get to room temp so quick. But what you're gonna wanna do is put them in a Ziploc and you stack them this way. And when you stack them this way, they won't break and they store so easily in your freezer.
So I pull it out,
You pull it out, you throw it in your kid's lunch, it's thawed by lunchtime. Like, freezing is key.
Okay.
It keeps everything fresh.
I've learned a lot today. And I love a woman with a passionate opinion, and I've tasted your cookies.
I know,
and
right?
I know that money is where the mouth is. Literally, these cookies are amazing, and I'll ease everyone's worries. I don't eat chocolate chip cookies for breakfast most days. So it's fine. It's fine. Where do we get this recipe and many others from you?
You can find me on saltedsweets.com is my blog, and also Salted Sweets on Instagram.
So many great recipes waiting there. A cookbook as well.
Yes, and a cookbook as well.
So we'll link you over. Be sure to give her a follow. You will get great food inspiration, cooking inspiration, and baking instructions. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it.
Yay.
I'm going to return a report.
Get it right.
I'm going to get it. Thank you so much, Brooke. We appreciate it.